Hi everyone, very excited to be here today. I'm Shani Merdler. I'm the VP product of Minute Media, and today I'm going to speak with you about leading your way forward. So before I'm getting into who I am, the entire story, I'm going to start as a product person with why. Why are you here? Why are you listening to this talk? And my assumption is that you probably read the description and you're in this stage in your life where you're at and where you want to be, there is a gap between the two. And this is exactly what I want to speak about today. I want to speak with you about how to get to where you want to be. So after we cover the why, I'm going to speak now about, I'm going to present myself, talk about where everything started, and then show you what's the approach that has helped me to become who I am today and where I'm at today, and share with you some tips and examples from my way, all of that in a second. So first of all, I'll start with where everything began, and this began in Minute Media. For those of you who are not familiar with Minute Media is just the most promising startup by Calcalist. We are a tech platform for storytellers. Our mission is to power the most passionate storytellers out there. And if you're looking at the stats, you can see that we powered over 350 million unique users a month. We have 6 offices, 6 brands, and support 13 languages. So now a bit about me. When did I start working for Minute Media? That was a really long time ago. In 2013, 8 years ago, I joined Minute Media when it was very small, only 20 employees. And I joined as a QA engineer, just got released from the army. And like many Israelis do, get released from the army, go to work for 1 year, save money, and then travel. I had the same thought in mind when I joined the company. Thought this is going to be a very short ride. I'll join for 1 year and then I'll say thank you very much and continue to my trip. And as you can see here, that's not exactly what happened. And my path with Minute Media still continues today. So what happened there? So after 1 year, I had a conversation with the CEO that probably sensed that I'm very young and I'm probably going to say goodbye soon. And he asked me whether I want to lead the QA team. I told him that I'm not very interested in leading the QA team, and he asked what am I interested in. So I shared with him that actually what seems more interesting to me is to become a product manager. And he asked what's my plan for that. So I said, very simple, I'll go and study computer science, then I'll work as a software engineer for a few years, and then after a few years I'll move to product management. And then he said, you know what, I believe that if you want to do something, you need to do it now. This is an advice that I'm taking with me until today. I'm sharing it with everyone that I come across with, and gave me the opportunity to become a product manager and join the product team. So from this point on, I'm going to speak about, how everything is about what you're doing, how you need to take responsibility over the path of your career. But at this point, I just want to say that sometimes you just need luck. You need to be in the right place with the right people to get the opportunity that will enable you to move forward. So now after we spoke about this point of time, I'm going to speak about the rest of my journey, the challenges that I've encountered, and what's the approach that helped me go through all of that and become the VP product of the company. So in order to understand it, I think that you need to understand what's my position in life at that moment. I'm 21 years old, working at a male-dominant environment, very young relative to my peers, and I want to take a very leading position as product manager and lead the product of the company at that time. Now, what's happening is that I'm feeling quite insecure, but I know how good I am and how good I want to be. And at that time, a really good friend of mine bought me this book. And this book is, as you can see by the title, it's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be. And that's something that really helped me and still helping me to navigate my career path. And when you open the book, these are the first few pages. Nearly all rich and powerful people are not notably talented, educated, charming, or good-looking. They become rich and powerful by wanting to be rich and powerful. Your vision of where or who you want to be is the greatest asset you have. But without having a goal, it's difficult to score. So that's the first point of where we are. It's not about where you are at now, it's about where you want to be and how good you want to be. That's our starting point. And without having a vision of where you want to be, everything that I'm going to say in this presentation is irrelevant, because I'm going to help you direct your way to where you want to be. And if you don't know where it is, then this is the first step that you need to take next. Now, let's say you're now in my position as a QA engineer back then, and you want to become a product manager. Not only a product manager, you want to become a good product manager. Now, what's next? There is this quote that I really like, which says, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." So here in the picture, you can see me doing a handstand in Cuba. And basically what led to this picture is many unsuccessful tries and attempts before that. Now, when someone wants to stand on their hands, the first thing that they want to do, the first step in the way, is to try and kick against the wall, because what you need to make sure is that your legs and your hips are above your head. This is the first step in this journey. And it doesn't really matter where you are at this moment. You need to think, I want to become X. Now, what's the first step that I need to take in order to get that? That's the first advice that I have for you. Now, when you're thinking about what's the next step, what's the first step for me, it's really important to remember the following thing, because you could make a mistake even on this first step. Now, your assumptions are your windows on the words. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. And this is a very important quote at this moment, because, for example, if you're seeing and taking an example of my journey, I thought that the first step that I need to do and take in order to become a product manager is to go and study software engineering for 4 years, then become a software engineer and continue in my path. It's very important to test your assumptions before you're going and pursuing them in order to make sure that you're in the right direction. Now, after we're choosing our goal, deciding our first step, then what? Now, I'm a product person. We started with why at the beginning of the presentation, and the approach that I really like to take to career path is to think that you're the product. Many times, when we're thinking about this ourselves, we can become very sensitive, very emotional. Unlike when we're, for example, giving advice to a good friend. It's very easy to detach yourself from the feelings when you're giving advice to someone else, but when you're thinking about yourself, sometimes that can be harder. So I encourage you to think about yourself as the product. You're the product. Now, when we're thinking of a good product and we're planning the product roadmap, what are we thinking about? So the first thing that we've already spoken about is a clear goal, where you want to be. The next thing is creating a roadmap. You have the first step, but after the first step, there are many different steps. What can you do in order to create your roadmap? You can look at where you are today and where you want to be, and then assess what needs to happen in order for you to get where you want to be. Plan this roadmap very similarly to how we're planning roadmaps for products, and then you already have the second step in the way. Now, sometimes when we're looking at this way of like where we are now and where we want to be, it can be very discouraging, because it seems like it's a very far target from us. It's going to be a very long way. We will never get there. We maybe better not even try. Now, what really helps, at the beginning we can be very motivated, be like, yeah, we're going for there, and then once we start the way, there are many barriers, obstacles, and we're getting really tired on the way. Maybe people frustrate us, and that takes our energy away from us. So what can we do in order to prevent that? What we can do is set key milestones in the way. Look at the roadmap and say, I'm stopping here and here and here and here in order to celebrate and say, well done, right? I've done all this way. I'm already hitting my first key milestone, my second key milestone. That will re-energize you and just show you not only what's the way that you have ahead of you, but also what's the way that you've already gone and how much progress you've made, and make you believe in yourself that you can also hit the next target, the next key milestone that you have on your list. Another thing that is really helpful, like any product and any good company, is having an advisory board, right? People that already have the experience and knowledge in order to help you shape the way and make the right decisions in the way in order to get where you want to be. This is something that really helped me during my career path. Along the way, I had many different mentors from different programs, and something that is really important to remember is that the advisory board could be of people that you never thought of. I can say that one of the tech leads that I worked with is one of the people that I learned the most out of, and he's, as I see it, even if he didn't know, part of my advisory board. Now, where can you find advisors, right? So there are many different mentorship programs according to professions, women mentorship programs, and so on. But it's really important to remember that also within your organization, you can find really good advisors. Probably that the people that are more senior than you have seen and done many things before that you're not even aware of. So a recommendation from my side is to identify these people and really ask for their knowledge, ask for them to help you in the way, even if it's not a very, it's not a full-time mentorship program, even if it's only consulting on different topics. This is something that can really help you. What you also need to consider when you're taking someone like that is within the organization, is senior than you, is that along the way, when you want someone to vouch for you, he will already be there, he will already know you, he already know your capabilities. So it's basically a win-win situation for everyone. So that's on the advisory board. And basically, I think that most of you now think, how am I going to get the advisory board? How am I going to get the mentor? Maybe you already Google now mentorship programs for women, for different professions. But before I'm getting into all of that, I want to speak about something that is really important. Like any product, people will not know how good you are unless you show them. Now, if we're looking at the peacock as a product, one of his features it's his beautiful feathers. Now, if he wouldn't show it to us, we would not know that he has these amazing feathers, right? So very similarly, also you're the product, you're improving over time, but if you will not show it to people, it can create a lot of frustration on your side, thinking, how can they not see how good I am? How they did not see how good of a job I did, how I spoke in this last meeting. So, same as you have your own path, also other people have their own path, and sometimes people just don't see. Yeah, that's what happens. They don't ignore you, it's not on purpose, they just don't see, and you need to show them how good you are. It's on you. Now, going forward, how are we making people, follow us? How can we lead people going forward? What are the next steps for us? So a couple of tips from my side after reading many books on this topic. Really interesting. If you're interested, you can follow me, and I will reach out to me, and I will send it to you. Now, everything is around influence and lead. What's the first thing? sense of importance, right? So each one of us, it doesn't really matter how senior we are in our positions, we want to feel important. People really appreciate that when other people see them, that gives them the sense of importance. So when you are reaching to someone to ask them to be your mentor or advise you, or if you want to convince someone of a certain path that needs to be taken, a new product that needs to be developed, or a new initiative that you want to run, think about the sense of importance. You need to make sure that you see the other person, you show them that you appreciate them, and that will do a lot of the work, I can assure you. So it's not only about you and your idea, it's about the other side, how you see the strength of the other side, and help him help you in the way that you want to take. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to speak about is look through different lenses, right? So similarly to you have a roadmap, you have a goal, you want to be in a certain place. Also, this other person has his own goal, his own roadmap, and now you want to take this person on another path, perhaps, than the path that he imagined. Now you need to be able to look through his lenses and think, what does this person is interested in, right? What's the path that this person wants to go through? What he's interested in. Now, once you see that, the message that you need to convey to this person is not how much you need him to help you or why your way is the right way, right? Imagine now I'll come to you and I'll say, my dream in life is to be the VP product of Minute Media. Can you please help me? I really need you to teach me that and that and that. Now, you have another goal and your time is precious. If I will not show you how helping me also helps you, it will be much harder for me to convince you unless you're super, super kind and you're willing to give away your time. It's going to be very challenging for me. But if I'll come and say, I want to learn this topic, and I know that you want to become better at teaching it because I saw that you're very interested in this topic, you're going to build a course on that. What do you think? Maybe I can be the first one that you're testing your new course on. Then this already sounds very different. What did I do? I looked at the person, identified what is important for him, and I tried to find a way, a path where both of our paths cross and come together in order for us to collaborate. The next thing that I want to speak about is positive messages. Now, sometimes we think that we see it all, maybe we are right in our way, but the way that we convey the message is not positive. It makes it hard for people to listen to us. Now, at this point, basically what we're doing is we are right, we're coming into it could be a meeting about how should we solve a specific problem or any other topic, and we are right. We know that we are right, and we're going to speak now and tell everyone how bad this is going to get if they won't listen to us and if they won't take our solution. Now, that's a point where we're already losing. Why? Because I learned from studies that people are less encouraged to listen when other people convey their messages in a negative way. Now, it doesn't really matter how hard you try to convince them, as long as your message is not positive, it's going to be against you. Now, I experienced that. I was very frustrated by the fact that I've seen our team doing mistakes because they didn't listen to me. And then I just realized that it's all about me. I need to change, not the other side. So instead of coming and saying how bad it's going to be, I started saying how good it's going to be if they're going to choose the solution that I proposed or any other act or action that I wanted them to follow. And that's something that really, really helped me. Next thing. So now I want to share with you a part of Disney movie Toy Story where everything that I just talked about is coming into reality. This example from Toy Story, there is a scene that shows everything that I just talked about. And what do we see in the scene? We see Wendy speaking with Kaboom. Basically, she wants to move from one side of the store to the other side of the store, and she needs the help of Kaboom. But Kaboom, at the moment, is in a really dark spot. It's really hard for him to believe in himself and make it happen. So what does she tell him? During the scene, what she's telling him is that she's starting with a sense of importance. She's telling him, you're the only one that can help us and crash into the cabinet. Without you, we won't be able to do that. The second thing that she's doing, she's looking into through his lenses. She's telling him to believe in himself. She understands that he's in a difficult spot at the moment, and she's talking him out of it through it. And the last thing that she's doing is she's being positive about that. She's telling him that he's the greatest. He's the only one that can do that. He's going to nail it, and it's going to be amazing. And by doing that, she convinces him to go in her path, help her achieve her goal, the solution that she wants to take in order to solve the situation that they are in. And he's accepting this, eventually getting out of the difficult spot it is in order to help her achieve her goals. So what we're seeing here is a live example, and if you haven't seen this movie, I really recommend you to do so, and go and watch this specific scene that shows exactly how the tips that I just gave are becoming a reality in this scene and convincing him to help her. Something that is very important to remember is that every mistake that you make is progress. So at the beginning of this talk, I showed you a very successful attempt of mine to do handstands, but what I didn't share with you is all the attempts that I've made and I didn't succeed in. So here you can see me falling. This was an unsuccessful attempt, but from every attempt that I had, I learned what I'm doing wrong, and I improved. And also in your way, you need to remember that up until now we spoke about, the happy flow. And it's important for me to also remember that there are unhappy moments in this process, and they will happen. But that doesn't mean that it needs to discourage you. On the other hand, you need to think, what did I learn from it? How did I get a step closer to my goal? And I'm going to improve from now on, and not discourage you to stop walking in the path that you drew for yourself. What's going to happen tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up. I will not be there. You will remember some things from my talks, and doubts about yourself and the way and whether you're as good as you think that you are going to come up. And it's very important to remember that this will happen along your entire process. My journey, as you can see, up until now took 8 years. You can imagine how many mornings I woke up, looked at the mirror, and had these doubts. And you need just to accept them and be very actionable about them, right? Why are you feeling insecure about something? What is the doubt that is coming up? Is it, I'm not technical enough? I'm not professional enough in something? I need to learn something more in order to be the best in it. I need to be the best in it in order to be successful. All this will come up. And then there are two things that we need to remember. One, assumptions, right? Because it will keep coming up. We will always think that we need to be better than we are. It doesn't mean that it's true. Maybe we do not. And the other thing is, after we've tested the assumption, is be actionable about it. What can I do in order to tick this box that now is stopping me in the way to my success? This is another key milestone, another point in my roadmap that I just need to complete in order to move forward. So this is kind of like the other side of things. We were very positive, but it's very important also that this will happen during the way. So a quick summary for us to review everything that we've discussed today. If you could take a few things from today, here are the 3 things that I would like you to take. The first thing is have a clear goal, understand where you want to go, and set a roadmap. The second thing is convince people to follow you through all the different examples that I gave. And the last one is to stay connected to ourselves, convert fears to actions. Now, I want to leave you with something for the end of this talk, and I invite you to write your goal. Just open your cell phone, the notes, write your goal and first step, and already set a reminder for next week to follow up on what you wrote to yourself and make sure that you're already starting your journey to where you want to be. If you want to reach out with any question, please feel free to do so via the email address that is written below or through my LinkedIn account. And yes, we are also hiring. Thank you very much. I enjoyed to be part of this amazing conference.